Going on, we are back with another video. Thank you for tuning in, thank you for joining, thank you for watching this video. For those of you that don't know, I'll be doing tutorials showing some barber insight on how to cut hair. I got my man Ray J in the chair. Right now what I'm doing is I'm just using a 3 guard and I'm debulking right around his parietal ridge, not looking to go too much. And as you can see, just did the same on this other side as well. Just went through it real quick so you didn't have to see both sides. Now what I'm doing is I'm creating a guideline for around the parietal ridge. I don't want to take too much off, so what I'm doing is I'm making about an inch section right directly in the back, going from the lowest point of the fade up to a little bit above the parietal ridge, slightly elevating it. What I'm doing is just getting all those loose hairs that are, hanging out a little bit more. And I'm just speeding this up again so you guys don't have to see it. And it's just the same process, guys. Just making those inch sections, moving all the way up into the front of the hair. And just slowly taking the that hair down to make it an even length all around that parietal ridge, so you don't have too much of a weight line. Now the more you take off, the less heavy it will be. So right here, I'm using my lever closed. No, I believe this is lever. Looks like I got a lever open right now, guys. Sorry about that. Just slowly going up, inching my way up, and I'm bringing it back to a V. And as you can see right here, what I'm doing is I'm starting in the back so I can get the symmetry down for that V. You want it to try and be pointed right in the middle of the head. You don't want it to be too far to the right or too far to the left. So I figured starting it in the back would be the easiest. So right now I'm using my Wall Premium guards, my 1.5 guard, and I'm going up about an inch. Don't want to go too high because I still want to keep it dark. I don't want it to be too light up top on that parietal ridge. Just speeding up again, flicking out, and now I've got my 1 guard on there, and I got it lever open still. Throughout the video, when I'm speeding it up, I will close the lever a little bit as I'm blending down. And the main thing you want to do is you don't want to go over your previous guard. You try to not want to go higher than that. So if you're going up about 1.5 inches with the 1.5 guard, once you get to that 1 guard, you only want to go up about 1 inch, or just stay in between 1 inch to 1.5 inches, because you don't want to create another guideline. And as you can see, I've got the lever closed. I had the lever closed right there. Took out that line a little bit, and there's still a little bit of weight. But I will follow back up and I will remove that. And right now I got my 1/2 guard on. Just working down through the guards, slowly closing it. And as you can see, got that 1/2 right there. Premium guards, I think those are the best guards to use. They're super sturdy and reliable, and they don't tend to be as flimsy. But I'm going through right now, doing the same process on the other side. Got a 1.5 guard on right now. I always start with it open, and I always slowly work it down back to close for every guard that I'm using. And you'll notice that blend seems to be getting a little bit lighter and lighter as I move down. Right now I got my 1 guard, got it open, always starting with it open, and just working to keep it closed. And I'm trying to remember exactly where I was on the head on the other side, because you want to try and keep it as clean, and you want to try and keep it as symmetrical as possible. The more symmetrical it is, the nicer the blend will look. You don't want to have too many dark spots, you don't want to have too many light spots, and you always want to make sure to kind of keep that blend, like I said, as symmetrical as possible on each sides. And now what I'm doing is I'm just spraying the hair, making sure that it's completely soaked with water so that it's easier to cut. Now, I don't typically dry cut unless it's for texture or if I'm doing final touches and I'm doing shear over comb. So I typically like to keep the hair wet with water. As you can see right now, I did a horseshoe parting, so I went from the recession point on the corner of his head towards the crown area in the back, and I kind of make a U shape with the parting throughout his head, making it even on both sides. And I'm sorry about the blurriness right here, guys. The camera lost focus a little bit, but what I'm doing right there is I'm pulling hair down a little bit, just so that I can get that overhang. And what I'll do is comb it down like I'm doing right here, combing down, and I'm slightly elevating it just so that when that hair falls back down and it lays, it's not hanging over, you know, where that blend area is. And you can even elevate it a little bit more if you want. The higher you elevate it, the harsh of a guideline it'll be. And I'm speeding up the video quite a bit. Just trying to make it short, so let me know what you think about that. If it's sped up too quick, I'll definitely slow it down in the next video. Right now I'm doing a vertical parting all the way throughout the head, from the front of the hairline all the way towards the back. And what I'm doing is I'm starting in the back of the hair, just so that I don't take too much off from that colic area, right where his crown's at. And I'm slowly angling it with the shape of his head. I'm trying to keep the shape of the skull is the same as my profile. And as you can see, the further along up top I get to the head, I'm sort of straightening it out a little bit more. It's not as angled. So I go up for my guideline, and I'll work my way back down for precision. So I'm trying to get a basis of what shape I want to use. And as you can see right here, I'm starting to work my way back down, keeping that same tension with the hair between my fingers as I comb it. And what I'm doing is I'm just really, you know, making that line clean all the way throughout the middle of the head, because that's going to be my basis for the rest of the shape. And then I slowly work my way down on each side, so I'm making inch sections all the way from the top of the forehead line all the way back down towards like that V. And as you can see, I'm just doing the same thing. I do a little bit of over direction just because I want the sides to be a little bit tighter. As you can see right here, now I'm working on kind of like the corner portions of the head. So what I'm doing now is I made a guideline about an inch of the way into the head from the right corner, that right recession point, and I'm slowly just angling the comb towards where that guideline is for that fade, and I'm just getting whatever's hanging over. And that usually seems to work well, especially with slick backs, that it makes it so that it doesn't hang over too much, and it's not cut unevenly. And you can see just right here, I'm speeding through, getting the mustache done. I usually like to start with the bottom whenever I'm doing a mustache lip, versus the top, because if you go too far down on the top, it'll always be skinny. So this way you kind of get to see, at least that's how I like to do it. Now I'm just slowly blending in that his beard. Started with my outliners, and I'm just, you know, slowly opening the guard, or not the guard, but I'm slowly opening the lever with my wall magic clips, just so that it can blend in. My goal is I want to try and make these videos less than 15 minutes if possible. So if it's sped up too quick, please let me know what you guys think. Let me know if it works. I can always slow it down a little bit, and I can talk more. And if you feel like there's anything that's being left out, you know, always make sure to let me know, give me some feedback, and I can try and make it the best viewing for you guys as watching. And if you're learning, if you're in barber school, if you're just trying to get some tips, I can always go back in and I can talk more. I don't want to have too long of a video. I don't want them to be over 20 minutes typically. I want to try and keep them as short as possible. So I'm trying something new here. Let me know what you guys think. It's kind of a quick tutorial. So, you know, for the next one, I need to go a little bit shorter or a little bit longer sorry. Right now, doing the same exact thing on this side. I usually always like to start with it bald from a little bit top of the ear, maybe not top of the ear, but it's like a quarter of the way down to right where that earlobe starts. I like to keep that bald. And right here, there's a massive glare. You'll see the camera change. You'll see the light, how much less of a glare there will be once that blind closes. But I like to keep that that baldness in between, you know, like 1/4 top down on the ear, and then right where that earlobe starts. That's where I usually like to start the blends. But sometimes I like it a little bit lower. This right here, you know, I'm just going over it with my straight razor, and you really want to make sure to keep that skin tight when you're straight razoring. If it's loose, you may not have the crispiest of lines, and you may have to go over it multiple times. And I like to use a shave gel just because it lubricates the skin and there's less irritation. Some clients can handle no shave gel, some skin reacts a little bit differently, and you really want to make sure the client's as comfortable as possible. You don't want to cause any agitation. So right now I'm using my thumb just to, you know, stretch that skin so I can really get that tight line and make it look as fresh as possible. Keep it nice and crispy for my boy. Still stretching the skin, you know, not trying to go too far in. I really want to try and make it look as even as possible with the angle and with the height right on the sides of the mustache. So now I'm just blow drying his hair. I got it on medium heat, medium speed, and I'm just pushing it back into the shape that I want it to be in. As you can see that little V in the back right there, what I was talking about. I don't have it rounded. Wanted to try something a little bit different. Switch it up some. And I don't like to use high heat too much, just because I feel like it dries the hair out a little bit too much, and if you're not quick with it, you can burn the hair. And I'm not using any kind of heat protectant in this specific styling. So right now I'm just using a matte product, and I'm just slowly rubbing it through his hair, just moving it around, trying to get the desired look that we want, just so that, you know, he can leave the shop looking good, feeling good, being fresh. As you can see right here, this is the finished product, guys. Got a shadow fade. It's not all the way down to the skin. As you can see, there's still a little bit of stubble. I'm trying to figure out the right angle for the camera too when I'm turning them, so I had to manually move it. You can see that it's a shadow fade as well, because he still has a hairline throughout the back, and there's still, you know, that shape to it. So that's the video, guys. Like, click, subscribe, share it, and tune in next week.